Hello, I'm Dale Kimberly. I'm committed to sharing Jesus with the world. This will be my new show. We're calling it God's Answers to Man's Problems. Man has a lot of problems in this world, but the only answers that really matter are those that come from God. Now, I want you to please stay tuned to the very end, and I'll share with you some things that you can do and have a part in our sharing Jesus with the world. When I was in college, there was a sign that hung over the doors leading out of the auditorium, and it said, "Into all the world in 23 years." Now, that year was 1977. That school was committed to sharing Jesus, and I'm committed today to sharing Jesus with the world. While I was in class one day, Charles Cole, the president of the university, had the class the role of the preacher, and he was teaching that class, and he said to us, he said, "Gentlemen, if you can do anything in the world besides preach, you need to do it." I didn't understand exactly what he was talking about right then. It sounded like he was saying you need to do something besides preach, and preaching was the thing that I wanted to do more than anything else in the world. And I was like the rest of the men that were in there. That's what they wanted. Well, what Brother Cole was saying was this. He was saying if you don't love preaching Jesus so much that you can't do anything but preach Jesus, then you need to do something else. He was saying if your commitment to preaching is not like the fire that was in the bones of Jeremiah and just had to be told, you need to do something else. He was basically saying if you can't feel a calling from God to do God's work and God's mission in God's way, you need to do something else. The one thing that the world does not need today is half-hearted Christians and lukewarm preachers. The world needs preachers and Christians that are committed to serving God and committing to sharing Jesus to the world around them. In December of last year, I suffered a stroke. In the days and weeks immediately following that stroke, I didn't know if I'd be able to do the things I'd done in the past or not. In fact, I didn't know for sure I was going to live. But as the months went by, I began to get better. I began to do more. I got to the point where now I could do everything that's asked of a full-time preacher. Probably better because I understand some things now that I didn't understand then. But God laid on my heart that He had a bigger mission. You know, even if you're preaching for a church of 1,000, you're only reaching a limited number of people. You're doing the same thing to the same people day after day, Sunday after Sunday. And the Lord laid on my heart to be able to reach multitudes more than the amount I can reach in a local congregation. I knew what the job of a preacher foretold, what it took. And I know what this is going to take. And what I want to do is to be able to use YouTube, to use this channel, to not just reach a certain amount, but to do all I can to reach the multitudes that are out there. Man may control what I do in a local church, but God controls my future. God controls what you do, and together we're going to do some great things. Regardless of where I was preaching, I always wanted to reach more people. Much like Paul was forbidden to go when he wanted to go to Asia to preach, I can no longer do what I wanted to do more than anything else in the world. That was to preach Jesus to a local congregation. Through prayer and meditation, God has placed in my heart an opportunity to reach a bigger audience. I would never have had the courage to open a YouTube channel like this, a channel dedicated to sharing God's answers for man's problems. God has shown me a way. With this YouTube channel, I'm going to be able to reach many multitudes more than I could otherwise, souls that I couldn't reach through a local congregation. Now, it's my intent to post 2 podcasts every week and 1 short. Now, let me tell you what a short consists of. It will be 60 seconds dealing with one of the topics that I've recently dealt with, and in it you'll get the whole thing in 60 seconds, and people will listen to that, and maybe it'll help us do other things. My plans are to post on Mondays and Fridays, maybe a short on Wednesday. This is something that I need your help in doing. It's something we can do together in discussing God's answers to man's problems. But it'll be a lesson that's simple to understand. It's going to be easy, and I want to make an application with it that every man can understand because we want to be able to reach the masses. Now, in doing this, I need your help. This is something that we can do together. First, I need you to subscribe to my channel. If you like what I'm doing, let me know. If you like the video, hit the like button. Second, I need you to tell your friends about this blog. I need you to share my channel. Help me build up subscribers. In doing this, we can have a part in sharing Jesus. With your help and God's help, we will preach Jesus to a number that would have not heard otherwise. You can have a part in it just like I do. Only God Himself controls how many we can reach. Friends, together, let's do this. Let's share Jesus with the world.